Yamhill County is known for its fine wine, but it could also be known for its fine art. The first 2 weekends in October, during the Art Harvest Studio Tour, artists in Yamhill County open their studios to the public. We visited with Dwight Evalt in Carlton. Dwight studied art in Chicago, New York, and Italy. He's a sculptor and a painter.
I like to watch what happens when the things that have patterns and are orderly and the things that are random come together. I started messing around with plastic pipes because I wanted to find a material that didn't have a lot of references to it, in art. You know, there was not a lot of kind of baggage with it. So some of the sculptures that I make are like things of wire or that are just really simple shapes, but they're also meant to have that sort of organicness that nature has as well. I like the way that the raku works with a lot of things because it's so organic and so out of control to a certain extent. And it works really well with these really highly figured pieces of wood, which these are. When I'm working with the materials that just kind of hold themselves together that need to be carved, so this is a subtractive process, I'm really thinking in terms of those ideas of modernism and also of my other ideas of the interrelationship of randomness and order. So depending on the shape of the wood, you know, or the shape of the stone, that's going to help you determine what you're going to make. There's a certain amount of deliberateness in art. It's happening on purpose. It's happening because you wanted it to. And it's kind of what I do when I approach wood carving is I look at the piece of wood and think, you know, how can this work for me to do what I want it to do? Some of these pieces of wood that are shaped like this are from what I think used to be rifle stock blanks. Sometimes ideas from culture come into what you're doing too. These came about just by working with some pinch pots and just deciding, well, I want to do this kind of random globular thing. I was thinking that'd be kind of cool. But they also have this kind of look to them, like they could be almost like polyps of some kind, or they even vaguely remind people of a figure, and a particular figure that if you took art history class, there's this Venus of Willendorf figure, okay? And so it has that reference. So like any sculpture that's about the size of a person makes you think of a person, and you relate it to your own size and your own physicality. That's part of the way that you get content into artwork, is by recognizing that if it looks like a figure, it's going to make those references, and you have to deal with those references. So a lot of times I'll be using patterns in a really kind of expressionistic way, or paint in a really expressionistic way. That thing just evolved. You know, it evolved out of a grid that was underneath, and then just by keeping painting and painting and painting and letting certain references come in that I saw. You know, sometimes something looks like a plant, sometimes something looks like you know, circulatory system, or sometimes something looks like, you know, the sky or whatever. Those things sort of come into the paintings. And then there's also a group of paintings that I really allow random things to happen, and I kind of let things happen. Like a painting like this one, it's not so much poured on as it is set out, you know, and then tipped every now and then to let the paint move around. In this case, this is just set outside to let the needles fall onto it and stick. This is just something I just did the other day, and I'm not sure if it's done yet. That's called a solar painting. Actually, it's a photosensitive emulsion on the canvas, and then it's set out in the sun with objects over it, and then washed out. So the imprint is actually of things that were placed on the surface of the canvas, and so it creates those effects. I have some ideas about what things could mean, but it's not necessarily what they have to mean. I feel like art is a really hard thing to do, for one thing, in terms of really dedicating yourself to it. And for me, it seems like half measures just aren't working. You know, half measures won't do. You have to actually go at it with everything.